Painting for me just took me way back to the person that I have always been, and it made me whole again. My name is Carla Raads, and I come from a small beach town in Eastern Cape, South Africa. I now live in Lytham-St. and I'm a painter. My artistic background and education is a bit all over the place, really. I went to a really great college in Blackpool. There I did a lot of foundation work in a lot of different subjects, and then I went to university and I did design-led work in interiors, working on software and that kind of thing. Painting with my hands came about because I hadn't painted in years and years. So after I initially trained in fine art and design and stuff at university, I basically went into modeling for 12 years. And I never thought about artwork again. During the time in artwork previously, I always used brushes, like your regular sort of painter. When I returned to artwork, I painted with my hands because I had so much emotion that had to come out. So that was the only way I could fully express the things that were going on inside. I work from home, from my studio. It's a professional studio that's been adapted as part of my home so that I can be here for my young child too. I try my best not to be too influenced. Funnily enough, my mum actually asked me this question the other day. She was like, are you hanging around with any artists? And I don't really, because when I started, it was very much just an organic outlet for emotion, and it was like a therapy almost. And then the technique sort of developed and my style developed. I don't have many influences because I try to keep the truth to myself on a canvas. What inspires me really about people that paint very skillfully and very detailed with brushes is that it's the form of patience in the small detailed work that takes so much time that I really admire, because that's not really the kind of painter that I am. I'm very expressive, I'm very energetic, I like to move with my work. For me, it's a very physical thing because that's what I needed it to be at the time, and that's always stayed with me. So it's almost like a bit of a gym session really when I paint. Motion is emotion. So sometimes even if I don't feel like painting, I tend to go down there and just be part of my environment. And what happens is you very quickly get into the mood of wanting to paint. And that is kind of how I dealt with my postnatal depression in the beginning, and that is really what the work is about. So, because it's something I wanted to overcome by myself, I didn't want too much intervention. It's purely about being physical and being energized and moving and stuff, and I think the painting is about that. So the form of expression is to let things out, and I think dancing does that, exercising does that, this is for me obviously, so those things do it for me. So I think that's why I've sort of made all these things into one thing. That's kind of how I paint, and that's kind of how the things come out, and that's kind of how I feel good, and that is how I overcame the depression that I had. And that's what the work is about overcoming something with the things that you like to do. Painting was my therapy, full stop. Painting saved me 100%, and it also took me back to who I originally was. Sometimes you can get so lost in, as you get older and you have these new pressures and new things in your life and new experiences, and you change from one job to the next and stuff, and sometimes you can just completely forget who you are. And painting for me just took me way back to the person that I have always been, and it made me whole again. The painting process is firstly get everyone out the house. Get everyone sorted, everyone to school, work, breakfast, all that kind of thing. I can't be talking about different chores or housework or anything that's going to happen next. So the first thing is to get everyone out the house, and then it is a question of getting my sort of uniform on, coffee, tying my hair back, music on, and then just getting every bit of paint out that I might need, because once I'm in the process, I don't want to really be looking for anything. Well, my most important tool is my hands. I say hands, but it's really only my right hand. I do some mixing in my left hand, but a lot of the mixing is also done on the canvas, so my hand is my most important tool. I also love, my technique is sort of about feeling the canvas and the paint and waiting in between sort of the paint. It needs to dry and get to a certain sort of consistency where, you know, it's not that sort of straight out the tube and it's not dry yet, it's kind of in between. And then I sort of do a lot of like smudging and rubbing on the canvas, and it's also very important for me to feel the fibers of the canvas. I love the chunky canvas from Art Discount. It's a really great size and it fits perfectly in my frame, so I try not to make that standard size, so that's a really good option for me. I absolutely love the chrome gold Montana spray. I use it in most of my paintings. I also use the Shop Black. It's just a beautiful matte black spray paint, also from Montana. And I love heavy body acrylics, so anything from Liquitex is really great. I also love the Art Discount one in the white and the black. The black and golds, I always tend to use the Art Discount black. I think it's got a really lovely consistency. It's really smooth and it's not too heavy, because then I often put the Montana spray over that and it just works really well. But if I'm doing like sunrises or sunsets and I'm using really vivid colors, I like to use I think it's Art Deco, the little pots. They're quite watery, but they work really well with a canvas that can spread quite far, because a lot of my canvases are quite big. And the Liquitex one I really love. The pigmentation's really deep. It's very vivid and the colors, they work really well. The white one, I also use the Art Discount one for the same reason as the black, because it's got a really smooth, kind of silky feeling to it.